keep lying to these people telling you was a hustler. And I was like, I was a hustler, Daddy. And he said, no, baby. A hustler don't get arrested every time they do something. What you are, my dear, is a fool. And I was like, okay, thank you, Daddy, for that boost of self-esteem. And so they give me probation. And this is just where alcoholism took me. In and out of jail. I come out long enough to get drunk. Stay drunk for a little while, I go to jail. Come back, they give me probation this time. Guess what? I'm pregnant with my daughter. But I learned something different than my daughter and my son. See, I learned with my daughter that I would just give her up for adoption. And I'm not saying this to brag, it's just where my alcoholism took me. I drank every single day of my pregnancy, never having a day of prenatal care. Every single day. I believe in angels, y'all. I was working at this restaurant. My stomach is getting bigger. This guy named Tom and his wife Elizabeth says, Angie, look, we're going to open up a restaurant in Bloomington, Indiana. Why don't you come with it? I said, okay, because I'm going to get my baby up for adoption. And I went with him. And this couple went in the delivery room with me when I had my daughter. And when you give a child up for adoption, they throw a black tarp over you so that you can't see the child. And they came and they got my baby, and when they took her out, I saw her hair. And I remember thinking to myself, I wish I could do something for her. But there's one who has all power. And they take her to the nursery and they take me to medical. And I'm laying in that room, and my parents found out where I was, and they said, Angie, bring her home. We'll take care of her. I began to drink, and I began to drink. And one night I'm at the bar. By this time, I'm living on the banks of the Ohio River in a boarding house. One day I'm at the bar, and somebody asked me if I wanted to go and do some enhancements, and I said, okay. So I'm sitting with them, and I'm drinking and doing this stuff, and all of a sudden the guy took my drugs. He got high, and he shot ice water into my veins. It was 17 blocks from where I was to that boarding house. And I'm just sick, y'all. And I'm walking, and with every step I took, I said, God, please, help me. I don't want to die like this. And I get down to that boarding house, and this is why I'm a believer in the angels. There was a little blonde white woman standing there, and when I got to that door, it was as if everything stopped. And she looked me dead in my face, and she said, honey, you do not have to keep living like this. And I said, I'm sick. And I told her what happened, and she went up to my room. She put a cold rag on my head, and she began to tell me of her drinking. She didn't tell me how much she drank. She told me how she felt as a result of her drinking. As a result of the losses, how she felt. And she asked me if I'd go someplace with her, and I said, yeah. If it'll make me feel better, I'll go anywhere. And she took me to my first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. And back then, when I came into AA, there wasn't a lot of African-American people in AA. Well, kind of like it is here today. Where my brothers and my sisters at? Can I see your hands? God love you. Hang in there. Hang on in there, brothers and sisters. You know, I'll tell you, when I came in and I didn't see any black people in AA. And I remember thinking, God, but we should feel special. You see what I'm saying? We should feel special, like a few little chocolate chips and a big old glass of milk. You know what I'm saying? Thank God that I learned that it didn't have anything to do with the color of my skin, that the only requirement for membership was a desire to stop drinking. That's what they told me. So we pull up to this clubhouse. I didn't know what that was at the time. It's about 50 Harleys parked out front. All these white people with white cups. And I said, well, it looks like it's going to be a pretty little interesting party. And I started walking up this walk with her. And people started reaching out their hands. They said, welcome. Welcome. Some guy was playing the guitar. playing a John Denver song. You fill up my senses. Everybody seemed to be swaying to me. Just... And I said, well, this is all interesting. I start to walk up the steps and this big biker dude grabs me, picks me up and goes, welcome to Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Squirrel. And I was like, Squirrel. You're going to put me down, brother. Why they name your big butt Squirrel? And I walk into this room and she said, some guy's going to tell his story. And she took me over and I sat to the right side of the room. The guy got up to the podium and he started talking. Oh, I was appalled. Do you hear what I am saying? This man it was the strangest thing. Newcomer mentality. Because see, we forget sometimes how we viewed this when we came in. So this old white guy's up here, he's going, yeah, I used to beat my wife every day. Then it seemed like the room went, ah! And I said, whoa. Just got me a new set of teeth. And it seemed to me like everybody was like, brother. I was like, this white people crazy over here. Then something clicked, right? Did he say Alcoholics Anonymous? I said, oh, sister, you have hit an all-time low. You are in Alcoholics Anonymous. So this guy keeps on telling this story. Then, they pass a basket. I said, well, here we go. It's church. And everybody's happily throwing, to me, 20s and 50s and, in. And I thought, what? And then here was the kicker. Everybody started. They rose up after he got done, and they roared, go! Then they went. I said, oh my God, they get ready to pray. Oh my God, they hypocrites too. I remember it was a black woman that was in AA when I got sober. She worked at the coffee bar. I remember when I saw her, I was so happy. I ran back to her, I was like, girl, these white people crazy. And she said, oh honey, you just keep coming back. I said, oh my God, they got you too. Run for your life, run. So then after they start doing this chant, it was the weirdest thing. Keep coming back, it's something. Keep coming back. Keep coming back, it's something if you're something. Keep coming back, it's some works if you're around. And I kid you not, they were so happy, I thought they were saying, keep coming back. It squirts if you jerk it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, I know some old timer gonna come up to me after. Social skill or anything. And I don't mean it, any disrespect. I really truly don't. I know I'm an alcoholic, but this is my story. And I'm serious. I got all the thousands of letters that the committee sent me, and I have not said one single cuss word. We got a lot of letters. I don't care what you guys say. But about this time, they start coming into AA with this, little crack problem. I know you guys don't have that issue down here. But in Ohio, it was crazy. I'm like, crack? What is that? No, don't come in. Shh. Don't talk. Don't say anything. Maybe they'll come up with a Crackaholics Anonymous, but right now you're in AA. And we deal with alcohol.